not stealing! I just wanted the leftover food! I'm not stealing!
The boy was already running when she saw him. He sprinted across the schoolyard like someone was chasing him, his feet slapping the cold pavement, barefoot. "Hey!" the teacher yelled from the entrance. "You can't be here! Go!" But the boy didn't slow down. He looked back once, eyes wide with fear, then kept running until he reached the chain-link fence. He grabbed it and started climbing. The white girl dropped her sandwich. "Wait!" she shouted. "You're going to get hurt!" The boy slipped halfway up, scraping his knee, but he held on. The teacher rushed forward. "Come down right now!" "I'm not stealing," the boy cried. "I just wanted the leftover food." The girl pushed past the teacher and ran toward the fence. "Let him go," she said. The teacher stared at her. "Emily, get back here." "No," Emily said, her voice shaking but firm. "He's hungry." The boy stopped climbing and looked at her. They just stared at each other for a moment, a scared black boy and a determined white girl standing in the middle of the schoolyard. "What's your name?" Emily asked. "Malik," he whispered. "Malik," she said gently. "Are you okay?" He nodded, but his eyes were wet. "You can't just give him food," the teacher insisted. "We have rules." Emily turned to her. "Then change them." The teacher sighed. "Emily, this isn't your responsibility." Emily walked past the teacher, picked up her sandwich, and walked toward Malik. "Here," she said, "you can have this." Malik hesitated. "They'll punish you." "I don't care." The teacher threw her hands up. "Fine, just give it to him and let him go." Emily handed Malik the sandwich. He grabbed it like it was treasure. He took a bite and closed his eyes, chewing slowly like he didn't want it to end. Emily noticed his feet again. They were swollen and red from the cold. "Where are your shoes?" she asked. Malik looked down. I lost them. They fell apart." Emily glanced at her own sneakers, clean, white, and new. Without thinking, she kicked them off. The teacher gasped. "Emily, what are you doing?" Emily held the shoes out. "Take them." Malik's eyes widened. "No, I can't." "Yes, you can. They're yours. I have another pair at home." "You don't even know me." Emily smiled sadly. "I know you need them." Malik swallowed hard. "Why are you helping me?" Emily's voice softened. "Because it is the right thing to do." He stared at her for a moment, then slowly took the shoes. They were way too small, but he slipped them on anyway. "They fit?" she asked. "Yeah," he lied, smiling through the pain. The teacher looked at Emily like she was crazy. "You're going to walk home barefoot?" Emily shrugged. "It's fine." Malik held the empty sandwich wrapper and stared at her. "Thank you," he said quietly. Emily shook her head. "You don't have to thank me. Just promise me something." Malik looked confused. "What?" "Promise you'll come back to school." His voice cracked. "I can't. They said I can't come here." "Then I'll walk you in myself tomorrow." "Why?" "So you can eat again." Malik nodded slowly. "Okay, I promise." Emily smiled. "Good." As Malik turned to leave, he paused and looked back at her. "Hey," he said. "Yeah?" "When I grow up, I'm going to buy you 1,000 pairs of shoes." Emily laughed softly. "You don't have to." "Yes," Malik said with surprising confidence. "I do." "Why?" "Because today, you saved my life." Emily's smile faded into something more serious. "Then live a great one." Malik nodded, turned, and disappeared through the fence. Emily watched him go, standing there barefoot on the cold ground. The teacher shook her head. "You have the biggest heart I've ever seen." Emily replied quietly, "Let's just hope it changes something." The next morning, Malik didn't come. Emily stood at the school gate holding an extra sandwich in her hand, scanning the street. Nothing. The bell rang. "Emily, you're going to be late," her teacher called. "He promised," Emily said quietly. "People promise things all the time." "But he meant it." The teacher sighed. "Come inside." Emily walked in slowly, her eyes still fixed on the road. That evening, Emily set off to look for him around the neighborhood. She found him behind the grocery store. He was sitting on a crate, hugging his knees, still wearing her shoes. They were torn at the sides now. "Hey, Malik!" He looked up startled. "Emily?" She ran to him. "Why didn't you come today?" He looked away. "I tried. They chased me off." "Who?" "The security men. They said I don't belong near the school." Emily sat beside him. "You belong anywhere you want to be." Malik shook his head. "That's not how the world works." Emily handed him the sandwich. "Then let's change it." He took it, but he didn't eat right away. "Did you get in trouble for your shoes?" "No." "You're lying." Emily smiled. "A little, but it's worth it." Malik's eyes softened. "You're different." "How?" "You care." Emily shrugged. "Doesn't everyone?" "No." Over the next few weeks, Emily started bringing him food every day after school. Sometimes it was sandwiches, sometimes apples. Once she brought a pair of socks. Malik always tried to refuse, but she never listened. One day, Malik looked at the shoes again. "They're falling apart," he said. "Then we'll fix them." "How?" Emily thought for a moment, then took out a roll of tape from her backpack. She started wrapping the sides carefully. Malik stared at her hands. "Why are you doing all this for me?" "Because you deserve better." He swallowed hard. "No one's ever said that to me." Emily met his eyes. "Then listen carefully." She pointed at his chest. "You deserve better." Malik blinked hard, trying not to cry. Months passed. Winter turned into spring. Malik started waiting for Emily behind the store, like clockwork. She would sit with him, talk, laugh, share whatever she brought. One afternoon, Malik looked serious. "I'm leaving," he said. Emily froze. "Leaving where?" "Another city. I found a shelter. They said I can go to school there." "That's good," Emily said softly. "It's far. I may not come back." Emily looked down at her hands. "I'm happy for you." Malik leaned forward. "Don't be sad." "I'm not." "You are." Emily forced a smile. "Just promise you'll remember me." Malik smiled. "I'll never forget you." "Promise?" "On my life." They sat there quietly for a moment. Then Malik reached down and untied the shoes. He placed them beside Emily. "I want you to have them back." Emily shook her head. "No, they're yours." "They changed my life. I don't want to forget that." Emily pushed them back toward Malik. "Keep them," she said gently, "so you remember where you started." Malik nodded slowly. "Then one day, I'll come back and show you how far I've gone." Emily smiled. "I'll be waiting." Malik stood up and walked away, her shoes still on his feet. Emily watched until he disappeared down the street. Then she whispered, "Don't forget me." 18 years later, a long black car stopped in front of Oak Ridge Community Hall. Men stepped out first. Then a tall black man in a suit followed. His name was Marcus King, CEO of King Development Group. He adjusted his cufflinks and looked around. "This is the neighborhood?" his assistant asked. "Yes," Marcus said quietly. "This is where it all began." Inside, the hall was full of people, community leaders, residents, families. At the front stood a white woman in her early 30s, calm, confident. Her name was Emily Carter. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said into the microphone, "we're here to discuss the new affordable housing proposal." Marcus looked at her and felt something stir in his chest. "Who is she?" he asked. "The social worker leading the committee," the assistant replied. Marcus nodded slowly. "She looks familiar." Emily continued speaking. "We can't let outside investors come here and pretend they care. If you want to build here, prove your heart is in it." Marcus smiled faintly. "That sounds like someone I once knew." The assistant whispered, "That's your cue. They're calling your name." Marcus stepped forward. The crowd turned. Emily looked at him, steady and unafraid. "So," she said, crossing her arms, "you're the billionaire developer." Marcus chuckled softly. I prefer community partner. People say that before they take everything. Marcus leaned closer. Maybe I'm here to give something back. Emily raised an eyebrow. And what would that be? Marcus's voice dropped. Everything I owe. Emily stared at him for a moment, confused by the emotion in his eyes. Do we know each other? She asked. Marcus shook his head slowly. Not yet. The room was silent as Marcus stepped to the microphone. Emily watched him closely. Before I speak, Marcus said calmly, I want you all to know something. A man from the crowd shouted, We don't trust developers. Marcus nodded. You shouldn't. Most of them are liars. Emily crossed her arms tighter. Then what makes you different? Marcus turned to her. Because I've been where you are. The crowd murmured. Emily scoffed. You? You're a billionaire. I wasn't always. Everyone says that. Marcus took a breath. I used to sleep behind the grocery store 2 blocks from here. Emily's eyes flickered for a second, but she stayed composed. That doesn't mean anything, she replied. It means everything to me. He continued. I'm not here to build luxury homes. I'm here to build second chances. Emily stepped forward. And what do you get in return? Marcus smiled softly. A promise fulfilled. Emily paused. What promise? Marcus hesitated. One a little girl made me believe in. Emily's heart skipped. What little girl? The one who fed me when I was starving and gave me her shoes. Her breath caught. What? Marcus looked straight at her. She was white, brave, and kind enough to change my future. The room was frozen now. Emily stared at him, searching his face. Your name, she whispered. Malik, he said. Her knees almost gave out. No, that can't be. He reached down and brought out a shoe. They were old and worn and taped on the sides. Emily's hands flew to her mouth. You kept them. For 18 years, Malik said. She stepped closer, her voice shaking. You're really him. Yes. She whispered. You came back. I told you I would. A crowd looked confused. Wait, you two know each other? Someone asked. Emily nodded slowly. He was the boy I used to help when we were kids. A woman asked. You gave him your shoes? Emily smiled faintly. I gave him hope. Malik looked at her, his voice full of gratitude. You gave me life. They sat in the corner after the meeting ended, just talking. So, Emily said, wiping her eyes, so you really became a billionaire. Only because of you. Don't say that. I mean it. You believed in me before anyone else did. Emily laughed softly. You were just a hungry kid. And you were an angel. She shook her head. I just did what felt right. Marcus leaned forward. I searched for you for years. Why? Because I needed to say thank you and keep my word. Emily smiled. So, about the 1,000 pairs of shoes? Marcus shook his head. About never forgetting you. Her voice softened. I never forgot you either. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Marcus asked gently, Did life treat you kindly? Emily shrugged. I became a social worker. I help kids like you. Malik smiled. Then you never stopped being you. Over the next few months, they began working together. Malik funded projects. Emily managed them. One evening, Emily looked over the proposal papers. You want to build a youth center too? Malik nodded. And a shelter. For homeless kids? For the ones who need shoes. Emily smiled. You really did come back to give everything. Malik looked at her. I only came back to find you. The rest followed. She felt her heart flutter. You still talk like a boy with nothing. Malik smiled softly. That's because I remember who gave me something. One afternoon, Emily visited the construction site. Malik stood beside her, watching the workers. You see that building? He said. That will be the shield tape home. Why shield tape? It reminds me of the tape you used to fix my shoes. Emily laughed through tears. You still remember that? I remember every word you ever told me. Emily looked down. Like what? You deserve better. She swallowed. And you did. He looked at her seriously. I want to help thousands of kids now, just like you helped me. Emily smiled. Then let's start. They shook hands, not as strangers, but as partners, as destiny, and as something more. The first group of kids moved into the shield tape home in the fall. Emily stood at the entrance, watching them step in one by one. Some looked scared, some looked hopeful. Malik stood beside her quietly. This is your dream, Emily said. No, Malik replied. It was yours first. A little boy walked up to them, holding a plastic bag. Are you the man who built this place? He asked. Malik smiled. I am. Why? Because someone once did something kind for me. The boy looked at Emily. Was it her? Malik nodded. Yes. Emily smiled, but her eyes were wet. That night, Emily and Malik sat on the rooftop of the center. You changed so many lives today, Emily said. You did. I only showed up. You gave them what you gave me, safety. Emily sighed. I just wish my mom could see this. Malik looked at her gently. She's proud of you. Emily nodded. Malik, yeah? Do you ever regret leaving back then? Malik shook his head. If I didn't leave, I wouldn't have learned how to come back. Months passed. The Shield Tape initiative grew. Schools started sending kids. Companies started donating. News reporters came. One day, a journalist asked Emily, how did this all begin? Emily smiled. With a sandwich and a pair of shoes. Malik looked at her from across the room, and they shared a silent moment. Later that evening, Emily found Malik in the office, staring at the old shoes he had placed on the shelf. You kept them, she said. Of course I did. They remind me of you. Malik smiled softly. They remind me of the girl who saved my life. Emily looked at him. You saved yourself. No, Malik said. You showed me I was worth saving. She felt her throat tighten. One rainy afternoon, Emily watched as a young girl tried on new sneakers in the donation room. They're too big, the girl said sadly. Malik knelt. Then we'll get the right size. The girl asked, why do you care so much? Malik smiled. Because someone once cared about me. From the doorway, Emily whispered, and that changed the world. That night, Malik and Emily walked through the empty halls. Do you remember the first day we met? Malik asked. You were climbing the fence, and you stopped them from chasing me. Emily laughed softly. You looked so scared. I was. And now? Malik turned to her. Now I'm just grateful. For what? For you. Emily looked away. Malik? Yeah? I never thought I'd see you again. I never stopped thinking about you. She swallowed. Even when you were rich? Especially then. Emily smiled faintly. You really kept your promise. Malik nodded. I always do. A few months later, the Shield Tape initiative expanded to 12 cities. Emily couldn't believe it. This is bigger than we imagined, she said. Malik smiled. This is just the beginning. Emily looked at him. Malik, why are you doing all this? He took a deep breath. Because one girl gave me food when I had nothing, and I want to make sure no child ever feels that way again. Emily felt her eyes sting. You always did have a big heart. Malik smiled. I learned from the best. That evening, Emily was preparing to leave the center when Malik stopped her. Wait, he said. What is it? He looked nervous. I want to ask you something. Emily smiled. What? Malik held up the old shoes. Do you remember what I told you the day you gave me these? Emily nodded slowly. You said you'd buy me 1,000 pairs when you got rich. Malik smiled. I lied. Emily frowned. What do you mean? Malik's voice softened. I always wanted to give you more than shoes. Emily's heart pounded. What more? Malik looked into her eyes. My life. Emily froze. Malik, I've loved you since I was a boy standing barefoot in that schoolyard, and I've never stopped. Emily's breath shook. You can't say that. I just did. She looked down, overwhelmed. Malik, this is all happening so fast. He nodded. I know. Emily looked at him, emotions flooding her face. I need time. You can have all of it, but don't go anywhere. I've already come home. Weeks passed. Emily thought about everything, the past, the present, and the future they had built together. One evening, she walked into the youth center and saw Malik helping a little boy tie his new shoes. Too tight? Malik asked. The boy smiled. No, they're perfect. Malik looked up and saw Emily watching. He walked over. Hey. Hey. Emily smiled softly. You really do keep your promises. Malik nodded. Always. She took a breath. I don't want you to just walk beside me. His heart paused. What do you mean? Emily reached for his hands. I want to build the rest of this with you. Malik's voice cracked. You're saying yes? Emily nodded. Yes. Malik pulled her into a tight hug, overwhelmed. Thank you, he whispered, for everything, then and now. Emily laughed through tears. Don't thank me, just keep being you. 6 months later, the Shield Tape Initiative reached 30 cities. They held a grand gala at Oak Ridge Elementary School, the very place where their story began. The same schoolyard, the same fence. Only now it was filled with light and laughter. Emily stood on the stage, holding the microphone. This place changed my life, she said, because this is where kindness met destiny. The crowd applauded. Malik stepped up beside her. And this is where a girl gave a boy her shoes and taught him that he mattered. Emily smiled at him, and that boy came back to change the world. Malik looked at her, deeply moved, and he came back to find her. The audience went silent. Malik turned fully toward Emily. Emily Carter, you gave me hope when I had none. You gave me food when I was starving, and you gave me the courage to dream. Tonight, I want to give you something in return. Emily's heart pounded. Malik dropped to one knee. Will you marry me? Emily gasped, tears streaming down her face. Yes, she whispered. Of course, yes. The room exploded with cheers. Their wedding took place a year later, right there at Oak Ridge Elementary. Simple, heartfelt, full of emotion. When the ceremony ended, Malik held her hands. You remember what you told me the first day we met? Emily smiled. I said you deserved better. Malik nodded. You gave me better. Now let's give that to the world. Emily whispered. Together. Years later, the Shield Tape Initiative became a global foundation, helping children in need with education, housing, and basic necessities. And at the entrance of the very first center stood a glass case. Inside it was a pair of small, taped-up shoes, and beneath it a plaque that read, "The shoes that changed a life, and the kindness that changed the world." If this story moved you, then let it change you too. Somewhere in your life, there is a Malik, someone who just needs a little kindness to keep going. Be that Emily today. Share what you have. Give hope when you can. And remember, the smallest act of love can echo for a lifetime. Please like this video, subscribe to Elrio Storyworld, and help us spread stories that remind the world that compassion still matters. Together, we can turn kindness into legacy.
The story of Emily and Malik teaches us that kindness is never wasted. A small act of kindness done with love can change a life. And that changed life can go on to change the world. What feels ordinary to you might be destiny to someone else. So, there might be a Malik that is very close to you. Please be an Emily in their life. It costs us nothing to be kind to one another. And in return, we get to change the world. So, if it's your first time on our channel and you enjoyed this story, please do like and subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first person to know when we drop a video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and stay blessed.